Tell us about your sports background, man. What did you play any sports in high school? How did that work for you?
Yeah, so definitely played sports in high school. My main go-to sport was football in high
All right.
school, linebacker. It was great. I did learn a lot about myself playing football, just because my first 2 years in high school, I felt like I was trying to compete with my teammates, and then my last years, I realized like, hey, these are your teammates right here. You don't need to compete with them. I mean, um, I think the first 2 years I was trying to compete with them so that way I could actually play, I could be on the field. But as I got more mature, I said I just kind of gave myself personal goals and be like, hey, I'm gonna use you for example. Travis is good at X, Y, and Z. How about you try to set goals so that way you can perform at Travis level when it comes to these drills or these players right here. So that's how I kind of looked at it my last years in high school. So became more team oriented when it came to playing that sport rather than just being more self centered like I was my first 2 years. So it was a great experience, and like I said, I really learned a lot about myself, and it was good to be able to just bond with the guys on my team, and being able to support them in different ways as well too. I know it was like me and a few players. It was that time of year where we had to sit down and apply for some scholarships and financial aid, and a lot of them didn't want to do it because they're like, "Man, I don't feel like right now." Say, I'm like, "Hey, let's just break it up, okay? Let's just do these two scholarships this week, and then let's do the next two scholarships next week, so that way we can just have some time to breathe and focus on school as well as focus on practice." And it was good. We had that time to bond, and we was able to be awarded, not all the scholarships that we applied for, of course, but we was able to be awarded with a few other scholarships, and I feel like it really helped us in the long run, just because school, man, is expensive, and financial aid will only cover but so much. So you got to
Man,
be
look,
you got to be able to have some additional support when it comes to paying for your tuition.
you ain't lying, bro. Especially for me, I went to a private school, dog. So
Okay,
I went
yeah.
to Liberty, and so Liberty ain't cheap.
No, it's not. It's not.
It is not, man. So why do you think that is, man? You telling me that you had a problem with like getting caught up in the competition? Did you want to play college football, or did you want to play sports in college in general? Is that the reason why they gave you that drive? And I know you mentioned playing time, but
Yeah.
was that something that was a driving force also, or no?
So I really didn't have that passion to play football in college, just because in my household, education was really important. So my parents drilled down, education down my back and in my face. So I didn't really think about playing college football at all in college and stuff like that. But I think too, my first 2 years, I think because things became more natural when it came
Yeah,
to just playing football, just playing different sports. Um, I was more self-centered my first 2 years, just because I noticed that some of these other people were a little bit better than me. So I'm like, you know what, let me I gotta be better than them, so that way I can start for
right.
this upcoming game right here. I remember sometimes they'd be like, "Hey, you want to work out together?" I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good. I can
Yep.
work out by myself." I just had that
You had
narrow
that Kobe
mindset.
mentality, that
Yeah,
mama mentality.
had that narrow mindset. I don't know what it was, but like I said, I think it's just my immaturity level too, and probably
Yeah.
because I felt threatened by them as well. But at the end of the day, it just came to me. It wasn't from a coach. It was just somebody from it was like a one of my dad's friends. Actually, he was just like, "Yeah, you shouldn't be competing with your teammates. These are your teammates for a reason right here. You gotta learn how to work with them. Some of them gonna be better than you at certain things, but you're gonna be better at them at certain things. So you gotta lean on them because they're leaning on you. So you gotta know how to be able to communicate and network with them. Don't just be by yourself and think that you got to be the best at everything, because if that's the case, you don't need to be playing football.
And you'll be every position. Ain't no way
Right.
you be every position.
That's what you're saying. It's like you're gonna be every position and you don't need to play football, and that's just not realistic. So
You might as well play. You might as well play tennis or golf or
right,
something like
right.
that.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Like, you come to be by yourself, you need to think about tennis or golf. And then I was like, I don't want to do all that. I don't want to do those sports because it's too slow and it's too quiet. They're like, well, yeah, you need to start changing your mindset a little bit.
Facts, facts. Like, and let me ask you this, man. What kind of advice would you give like athletes now who are in this position, the same position that you were in,
Mhm.
that are looking to find that balance between competition, but at the same time understanding the team aspect of things, man? What kind of advice would you give to those people?
I say two things. One thing is communicate, mainly with the coaches. Like, I remember my coach, he had like, I guess you call it like office hours,
Yep.
doing the school time and after school. And he's like, you got any questions or you want to improve on something, always come to my office hours. I can give you some feedback or what to work on. So definitely communicate with your coaches. Like I said, we all got something to work on. So don't just try to figure what that is by yourself. Talk to somebody because you can't really see yourself, playing on the field. I mean, you can when you record yourself, you can look at
Right,
the
right,
video,
right.
but while you're actually on the field and all that stuff, you can't really see yourself. So it's good to talk to a coach or, talk to um, uh, somebody on the athletic administration staff just to be like, hey, what can I work on so that way I can become a better athlete. Another thing is just be true to who you are when it comes to being an athlete, I remember for myself, there was like some diet my friend was doing just to build some muscle. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do that diet too. And, I need to build more muscle as well. And I don't know. I just felt like I didn't really understand my body type at the time, but, I didn't really need all that. I was more so trying to do that because he was doing that.
Right.
So
Yep.
I just like I gotta realize I gotta be true to myself and
Right.
know what works for me. Just because, like, I'm gonna use you for example again. Just because Travis is doing this diet doesn't mean that diet's gonna work for you as well. So you gotta really understand your body and be true to yourself and know, like, okay, if I keep doing this diet, maybe it'll work out eventually. No, stop trying to do things that's not gonna work out for you. Everybody got different type of bodies and stuff like that. So you gotta do what's right for your body and physically and mentally as well.
That's
So.
true, man. That's true. Hey, let me ask you this, man. How were you able to juggle, or how can people in general, student athletes specifically, how can they juggle the responsibilities of not only being a student athlete, but
Mhm.
things that come with being just a regular person in general?
I would say definitely. I say just utilize the resources that the either the athletic department is giving you or the coaches are giving you. For instance, I know I was a tutor my second semester, my freshman year at ECU. I was tutoring math for some football players, and it was so funny because I remember as soon as the semester started, I only had like maybe two come to my tutoring office hours, and like when midterm came around, I had like 30 come to my office hours, and I was just like, "Yo, well, why you didn't come in the beginning of the semester? Why you over here trying to come now when it's midterms or finals?" And they were just saying like, well, I mean, I thought at the beginning of the semester, even though it wasn't clicking for me, I thought I can eventually learn it by myself. I'm like, no, you don't gotta learn it by yourself. This is why we are here as tutors. We're here to help
Hmm.
you be successful. So I know you're trying to stay in the gym, you're trying to live in the gym. I know you're trying to do all that so you can, be the best you can be on the field, but you also have that student part in front of your name when it comes to athletes.
That's
So
it.
you gotta remember you're here for an education as well. And so I was able to kind of when I went to that role my second year as a sophomore, a lot of the players you could tell I kind of made sure I let it be known early on in the semester, like, hey y'all, even if you don't need help, still come see me during my tutoring office hours, so that way I can make sure you're good to go and everything, and making sure that you feel comfortable with the materials that you're learning. Because I made it very, very stern. You ain't coming to my office with 30 deep when it comes to midterms and finals because I'm about to turn you away.
Right.
And you have to
That's
figure stuff out
facts.
by yourself. And then a lot of them, they kind of take that as, okay, he's being rude, but at the same time they kind of realize like, okay, he's being serious, and he's legitimate about what he's saying. So let me go ahead and start taking, utilize his services and making sure that I'm getting the help that I need. So long story, I feel I was rambling a little bit, my
You good,
fault.
man. You
But
good. You good. You good, man.
I would just say, just
It's a
utilize
conversation, bro.
resources. Yeah, I just say utilize resources being a student athlete. I mean, like you got study hours, study hall hours you have to go to. So utilize those study hall hours. You got your professors that's there to support you. Even though you're an athlete, that professors ain't gonna look down on you. They're gonna appreciate you going to them and being like, hey, I need help with this right here. Or hey, I know we have a test coming up, and practice has been crazy, and I'm not gonna be able to prepare for your test on time. Maybe talk to your professor and ask you, get an extension or something like that. Because professors, I feel like nowadays they really want students to really interact with them more, and I feel like a lot of students now they have what I call social anxiety, and they don't really ask for the help that they need from professors or from administrators.
Pride, bro.
And yeah, it's that pride. And so a lot of times they end up, falling on their face a couple of times just because they're not seeking the help or they're not utilizing the resources that's in front of them. And that's why I tell students that I talk to now, talk to your professors. They are here to help you. And the way I look at it is, the professors won't be here if it wasn't for you. Can you pay for for their salary? Your tuition and fees is paying for them to be here. So technically they're here for you. So, but I always tell them that just so they can realize, like, hey, this is what they're here to do. They're here to help you be successful.